And I asked her, I said, who in the world is that? I don't know him. Oh, she said, that's Wayne. And that's how we, from that day on, we practically we dated.
And what day was that?
No, it was probably August or late August of 50, no, I was still home in 57.
But you said Grandpa
Well, you know, when I
knew
saw
you
him,
from when you were Fair Queen?
well, he knew me before, he said. Yeah, I knew he didn't want me to go east. He really didn't want me to go east. And I had planned that all spring to do that. I wanted to go somewhere and do something besides milk a cow.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and left.
I thought you stayed in the village. You know, kissing babies.
Yeah, I was gone. We never talked to each other from that October in 57. I don't remember seeing him until I come home. He come up and got me in Christmas of 19. I'd come home for vacations, Christmas, and he come up to the airport and got me. He did write me a letter. I did answer it. But he comes, I walked in at the airport up there, and here he was. He had a bandage on his thumb. Yep, stuck up this high, but is that big, a big white bandage. You'd never guess what he had done.
What did he do?
I don't. Back then they had a tool that they castrated young kids with, and you'd wrap it around what you're supposed to castrate.
Yeah.
And squeeze it. And about the time he did, the calf jumped and split his thumb straight down endways. He said, we got him though. We got him. Yeah.
Did you keep the letter that he wrote you?
You know, I finally, I don't know what happened. I kept it for a long time. I did, I kept it. And I suppose you get a bug in it.
To get rid of stuff?
Well, I don't know. But I kept it for a year.
Did he keep your letter?
Well, I guess I put them both in the same place. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he wrote me a letter in September. And just wrote me a letter, just an ordinary letter. And I did answer him. And of course I went home for Christmas that year then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I was out there. I left here on October, I had to report for work on October 7th.
In Arkansas?
But in Virginia. They said Washington, D.C., but I was actually in Virginia.
Well, didn't you go west before you went east?
Yeah, I went to Omaha, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
First. Uh-huh.
For, what was it? A flight something.
They come to Cloverdale School, and anybody want to go to Omaha, Nebraska to learn how to do, what's that? It's got a holes in it. Reservation, ticket tape. Reservation for the airlines.
Okay.
So guess what? So when I got to Nebraska, Omaha, I met Jane. I met my roommate. I met Jane. She did the same thing.
Raised her hand and volunteered?
Yeah, because we didn't know each other. She was a South Dakota girl. And so we got there and we went to school for June and all up and I come home on the 4th of July. You talk about being dumb. I lived here. I didn't know how I was getting from the bus to where I was going to live. I had a place to live. I didn't know how I was doing it. One time a young man helped me. I don't know, he's in the army or something, I think. And I trusted everything. Oh my God. And so then they come along after the 4th of July and they said, these representatives from the Navy Department come in there.
Yeah.
Hey girls, they might want to go to these and work for the Navy Department. Again. So we both went. I enjoyed my time out there. I really, I'm kind of glad I went. Her and I got along so well. First we had a double, two-bedroom apartment with two other girls. It wasn't long till we went to our own apartment.
Yeah.
And we got along so well. But then she helped me out of Marine and married him. So that meant I lost my roommate. So then, I don't know whether Jane found me a roommate or named me Edna. She was going to marry a policeman. And so Edna come to live with me. And we done all right. But then Jane got married in April in 1960. Well, this was the next January or February. And Edna got married on Valentine's Day, so I lost my roommate. You know what I'm going to do. Yeah.
What did you do then?
That's when he, you know he never talks.
Grandpa?
We never ever had much talk to the word marriage. Nothing was said. I mean, absolutely nothing was said. Never talked about it. Never. So, when I come home that last Christmas, and I had to go back on Sunday night. This might have been a Friday night. And when we got out of the car that night, I lived over where Kenneth and I lived, on that open front porch. And when we'd stop and we'd run around a little bit and then we'd stop. So, and then he'd walk up the door with me. And, but that night, on Friday night, we got out of the car and we walked up the door and hadn't talked about nothing but the weather probably. We got up to the door and turned, hey, will you marry me?
Just like that?
Just like that.
He didn't even get down on one knee?
Oh no. I said he didn't spend any time with Betsy. I mean, he didn't say maybe, do you maybe, or do you, what do you think about it? Just out of my mouth came yes, you know. You could say I was shocked. Of all years we dated a boy, never mentioned anything. They say talk about money and all that stuff.
What year was that he asked you to marry him?
It was, let's see, it would have been in 59.
Okay.
59. Because I'd come home that winter for Christmas. So by the time I got home, I had to go back because I had to go back to work and finish up. I had paperwork to finish to go back. But the people there were nice and men said, we'll do all the paperwork for you. And they did. They set me all up. I needed to take some time off without pay to reach a deadline I needed to reach. And they did all that for me. And as soon as I got, about that time, Wayne's mother was in the hospital, deathly sick with gallbladder. And it wasn't but 2 or 3 days, Mom was in Brazil hospital. They're sick enough to die with a gallbladder. So I decided I couldn't. So Donnie we flew Donnie out, because I had a car for them. I booked me a car. But Donnie, we flew him out, and he and I drove back on about the 22nd.
Yeah.
I'd like to, where I didn't kill us both. I went to sleep on a big mountaintop.